This is Sports Center.
Welcome to Sports Center. I'm Steve C. It is the Week 5 edition as time has flown by. But let's get right into it because I know you've all been waiting for this segment. It's time for the top 3 scorers. At number 3, Tony Homo at 34.9 points. Look at the arm on this guy. When he takes it deep, you just never know what's going to happen. And when he gets his hands on his ball, it just gets down and right dirty. At number 2, Malcolm Floyd with 35.3 points. The guy had a career day over 200 yards, receiving 1 touchdown. You can tell he likes it deep, too. At number 1, Matt Forte with 39.8 points. The drought is over. The Bears have gotten their first rushing touchdown in 9 games. And Matt Forte's personal drought is over. He finally rushed for 100 yards this season. Now let's take a breakdown of the week. Let's start with a game that I was heavily involved in. The Skeeters versus the Big D's. The shirtless man indeed was correct. He beat me by 15 points. This one came down to the Monday night game. Percy Harvin, he goes off, 2 touchdowns, including 1 ridiculous catch. Tony Homo, as we mentioned earlier, he obviously went off. Michael Bush went off for me, but again, not enough skeet. The Big D's win. Now we go to the matchup of the week. This one was back and forth. The Monday Night Football game was crazy. Old man Favre threw an interception, which gave the Jets defense the edge there, which put the PSI ahead of the Steamrollers. Matt Forte goes off also for the PSI. Miles Austin went off for the Steamrollers. However, PSI gets the win. And now we go to a game which is a complete blowout. Fugitives 182.2, City Point Hunters 49.9. Yes, I said 49.9. The Fugitives, you can name any player on their team, and they went off. Aaron Rodgers, 16 points, the leading scorer of the Hunters. He has a little boo-boo on his head, as many quarterbacks in the league have suffered. He'll be out probably next week. There's not much to say there. Fugitives blow out the Hunters. Now, this game is interesting. The Platypuses versus Vic's Used Dog Sale. Platypuses suffered their first loss. Start a different kind of parade this week. Platypuses are now 4-1. Vic's Used Dog Sale wins by significant margin here. Top scorers in this one, Brendan Lloyd, 32.5 for the Platypuses. Not enough. Scored most of their points if you think about that. Roddy White, he white-tastically skeeted on the Platypuses. There you go. The final game of the week, again, came down to the Monday Night Football game. The B-Fries lose to the Rags by ever so close, about 8 points. Phillip Rivers, that guy's a beast, 28.4 points. Ski-tacular performance there. And we got Mr. Johnson, 27.2. You know he's going to do it big every time. So the B-Fries get beaten by the Rags. Now, we're going to break it down to the standings. We'll give the Dirty South the chance to go first. At 4-1, we have the Platypuses. Like I said, the parade still continues. If you want to have a parade for losers, they're 4-1, but they still lead the division. Then we have the 3-2 Rags. The man's coaching ran obviously paid off. The Rags are on a hot streak. They're 3-2. Then we got the B-Fries and Vic's Used Dog Sale tied for third at 2-3. And then the Steamrollers coming off a tough loss at 1-4. But let's get some kind of a clean vibe going with the ever so clean North Side. Leading the division, well, I can't say really leading because there's a 4-way tie. We have the Skeeters, the Big D's, the PSI, and the Fugitives, all at 3-2. And then we go to the 1-4 Hunters. There's still a hope out there, buddy. Hang on in there. You never know when you might skeet.
Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. Streetlight people. Don't stop
Now we're going to take a time out because we have to pay our sponsors, so let's go to a commercial break.
One man. One desire. When he thought nothing was left. He overcomes his fears, battles all obstacles. In the race for the top. Ski! Only one man stands in his way. Himself. Coming this summer.
And welcome back to Sports Center. I'm Steve C. in case you have Alzheimer's and forgot. But now it's time to put on your sweater vests. Put away your hats. You don't need them today. You need your prediction sweater vests. Let's get right into this. Skeeters, beef fries. Of course, I got to start with myself. Skeeters edge this one out. It's going to be a close one versus the fries. But I take home the win. Then we've got the Big D's versus the Platypuses. Big D's, I think they're going to explode into this one as much as I don't want to see that happen, but they beat the Platypuses, who would then become 4-2. We've got the Rags and the City Point Hunters. I think we all know what direction I'm headed here. The Rags wipe the City Point Hunters, as he likes to say. They wipe them out. Rags beat the Hunters. Then we have Vixie's Dog Sale versus PSI. This, I think, is going to be the game of the week. It's going to come down to points or the Monday Night Football game. Who knows? Vix beat the PSI. Final game of the week is the Fugitives and the Steamrollers. Again, another close matchup. Notice I've said close matchups a lot because this is going to be one heck of a week. Fugitives take this one. I can't go against them after what they did this past week. Now, let's go to a segment I like to call the waiver wire / trade / injuries / who knows what else. The big pickup off the waiver wire was Michael Bush. He ski-tastically skeeted for the Skeeters. Mark Clayton is out with an injury that's huge for the Beef Fries. McCoy, however, is in. But a funny little twist there was a trade. Cedric Benson from the Skeeters for LaShawn McCoy of the Beef Fries. So you got McCoy on the Skeeters. You got Benson on the Beef Fries. So that was a major trade that took place. And then you got Calvin Johnson. He's got a little boo-boo, not on his head, but on his shoulder. Doesn't seem to be serious, so he should play for next week. But that's it. I'm Steve C. That was Sports Center. I'll see you soon, probably in your sweater vest. Thank you and good night. Peace. Is there any other notable waiver pickups?
Steve.
I'm on TV. I did it again, Mom. I made it. Tony Homo at 34.9 points. I mean, look at the guy. Oh, man. It just gets down and right dirty. Wow. That was pretty perverted. So let's get it right into... Yeah. We have to get some sexual favors. All right. Oh my God, I'm trying to look serious, like, yeah.